VGC is dead. Like, it's deader than dead. Only 5 people are going to care about this video, and 9 out of 10 VGC players hack anyways, but the thing is, I've been doing this every year. So let's make this a yearly event. We've been doing it, so why stop now when we just go and talk about how terrible the championship point system is in Pokemon, because I like the idea of a circuit. I like the idea of championship points, but you need an esport to back it up. Pokemon is way too much of a joke right now because 1, their championship point system is terrible, and 2, there's way too much hacking and all the other problems that we've been covering for years that just make VGC go down more and more. I mean, not even 100 people are showing up to regional events when it used to be hundreds, when it used to be tons of people that were like happy to show up to Pokemon, but they know what's up. They know that if they can only make it to one regional for the year, there's no point going. You get first place at a regional, don't get to go to Worlds. Yeah, that's how it is. And that's also after fighting the just majority of players that are going to be hacking against you anyways. So if you're just the honest Pokemon player that wants to feel like a master, absolutely no reason to play VGC. 0 reward, $60 to enter. You're better off going and having a nice steak dinner because that's a guarantee you're going to be satisfied instead of getting, you know, bumped out by round 4 against all these hacking players. And you know, just... there's just nothing to it, guys. So what did they do this year? They changed the championship point system by buffing it, or nerfing it technically. They made it to where you need more points to get in, and that's to offset the absurd amount of players that qualified for Worlds, guys. There were like 200 people that qualified for Worlds for Masters VGC. There's more people qualifying for Worlds than there are going to regional events because of how broken the system is. If you just grind it, if you have money, you get in, and it doesn't matter how bad of a player you are. That if you're relatively competent, you're good to go. And then also if you're really, like, this has been my problem with the championship point system for pretty much forever. If you're a really strong player in a region, if you're like a very localized player, you know, you don't have the money to go to 8 regional events. That's how it is, guys. So for the championship points, you actually have the opportunity to go to 8, or you get point for 8 regional championships. There it is. So if you can just kind of travel out and qualify, you're going to get tons of points, and then you're going to be able to make it to Worlds just by being, you know, maybe one of the top 40 percentile players or something there. Same with the premier events, same with the mid-season showdowns. There's just points all over the place. That's why it doesn't make any sense. So they also adjusted it for Latin America as well, because Latin America, 250 to get in, 400 now. They buffed Europe by 50, they buffed Oceania by 50, and they reduced South Africa by 50 as well. But that doesn't make any sense because now the premier events, you get more points from the premier events. So 2 per series, 3 series, that's 6 series, times 30, 180 points. Do the people that work for the like, everyone's incompetent. Every single person that is a part of the competitive system for the Pokemon Company International just needs to be fired if there's any hope for Pokemon being valued as a legitimate esport, for something that people will want to participate in and want to feel like they can do something with. Because did they all fail math class? This was last year. 4 series, 2 per series, 15 each. So 8 times 15, 120. You get less points for more events. And then you have to balance it harder. September, October. So that means you have to slam those 2 out really quick. November, January, February, April. You have to cram all those premier events for less points. This, a lot more relaxed, a lot more casual, more points. So you actually get 60 more points, which offsets the 50 buff for Europe. Come on? Wait, what? 250, 250, 300, 300. So that means Oceania Europe just got easier by doing less premier events. So you get those 10 extra points that maybe could have given you the qualification. Latin America, people cheese that super hard. Like, you can't have these low qualifications because of internationals, and internationals are completely broken as well. So you go to an international event, 4. So you can pretty much go to, like, every international. If you have the money to fly out, you can do it. We've already seen this where, you know, we have, like, strong European players, strong US players just go to the internationals and just sweep points away from Latin America and all these other places. But then also the Latin Americans, the locals there, they do have an opportunity for big points. And it also just kind of makes it feel unfair that if you get 5 through 8, or it used to be, you know, if you got 8th place and any international as a Latin America player, you're in Worlds. If you get 3rd place or 4th place, you don't make it as a US player. You have to get 2nd. So you have to be 2nd place in an international event, which is effectively Worlds. You know, you're going to have all the big players competing. It's actually an unrestricted Worlds. There's going to be better players at international events than there are at Worlds, because there's no limit. They just show up. People from all over the world can show up anyways, and then you get the 400 points. The only thing that's keeping Worlds players out, I guess, is maybe the prize pool, because there's not as much money at stake as there is for winning Worlds. So you could get second and then barely qualify. That's insanity to me. It just kind of shows why this doesn't work. Why, like any other competitive sport, when they have a series and they have a circuit, they're getting money. But now we're actually you're getting less money for winning regional events. You're paying more money to get into these events, and I guess because of inflation, it technically costs slightly more to compete this year than last year and the year before and stuff like that. What's the point? There's just no point whatsoever. And then, you know, all right, so the premier events, these have been pay to win forever. And the weird thing is, before Pokemon Sun and Moon, premier events gave you a ton of points, and there was like a 5 best finish limit or something. So you could get, again, 150, 200 points off premier events. They nerfed that last year, and then they buffed it back. And they made it easier to get in. So our premier events work, as you know, and these are also not as regulated. So pretty much, I've been hearing horror stories from premier challenges. 7 people showing up, everyone hacking, maybe a couple kids that don't know what they're doing. So there's like 5 competent players. One of them isn't hacking. All of the other ones are being allowed to hack by the judges. And then all you have to do is just kind of grind those. So 2 per series for a couple months. I mean, you could show up to like 5, 6 of these things and eventually just get first place by just being a moderately decent player. Boom. That's going to be like a third of your qualification. Actually, more than a third of your qualification, depending on how it goes right there. Also, look at this. Second place is 16. So we're getting 4 points on events like that compared to the 12 points right there. Doesn't make any sense, guys. Doesn't make any sense to me. Mid-season showdowns, if you just kind of show up 2 per series. So again, 6. So I mean, if you just do okay at mid-season showdowns, they're not even, look at this, look at the kicker, guys. They understand how dead the game is. Like, there might be some events where only 48 people show up. So that's the kicker. So that means, like, say there's 30 people that show up, only 5 through 8 get prizes, and then 25. It kind of adds up. But I mean, even then, like, if you're 8th out of 24 people. Wow. Okay, cool. You know, it's like, it shows that you just have to be, you know, not even one of the best people there. You know, you get a couple of kids that just show up because it's their local event. They don't really know what's going on, or they don't understand IVs that well. They're not truly competitive, but they get in. Stuff like that happens, and then the rest of them are going to be hackers. So you just kind of keep grinding events because, like, you can just keep going to so many. Select online competitions, no limit. That's because there's going to be like a ton of them, and they don't really know how many there's going to be. This is what also is kind of a joke to me, that an online competition is going to have thousands of players that aren't locked down by any kind of money gate. They're not going to be restricted by any kind of time or effort or travel or anything like that. And we're going to have thousands of players. Actually, back in the heyday when online events got tens of thousands of people, you get first place out of tens of thousands of people, that should be more than just 50 championship points. That means you're going up against people you're going against world-class players that don't have the ability to make it to Worlds. You're beating them, and then you're getting top out of that for only 50 points. Now, there's a lot of online competitions, so, I mean, it would be kind of crazy if we had 200 each time. But, I mean, it should be at least the value of a regionals to win against everyone that's competing that doesn't have any kind of restriction whatsoever out of thousands of players instead of dozens. You know, like, look at this, you know, kicker, 48, 9 through 16 at a regional event, best finish limit 8. You can still go to more of those. I mean, it's just, if you keep grinding events, eventually you're going to get it. So, top 32 out of 100 players. Top 30%, you know, you barely have to win any games to get through that one. If 200 people show up, which is some events, still top 64, 50 points. So, 60 points right there. You know, you go to 3 of these, you get 360s, you get a couple of 80s. Like, I will give Pokemon credit. They made it to where it isn't as free. These are some strict kickers that don't make the championship points as free, but then that also makes it kind of weird because they're making it's just all over the place, guys. Because, like, yeah, it used to be, you know, you could just show up, get like top 64, top 128. Now there's a lot of people, so that isn't happening. There's not going to be a regional event that has 400 people to where you can squeak in 40 points. So, I mean, it's one of those weird things. We're making it harder to get in. They're kind of handing you some more easier points, and then people just aren't competing anyways. But then you just show up to an international, and that's all that matters. International, probably like 100, 200 people. So you get top 64 on international, 130 points. Do that once. Do some premier events. Grind some regionals or mid-seasons. Like the mid-season showdown, this is where we saw that hacked Incineroar. This is where we had Liberty, what is it? Liberty VGC? Like Liberty VGC. the hacker, like we have tournament organizers at mid-season showdowns that allow hacking. So that's how easy that is, with only a couple people showing up and some very low hosted events. I mean, it's just the same old thing. I was also looking at Worlds. More people qualifying for Worlds than showing up at an entire regional event. Something's wrong there. Like, I know it's the entire world, but still, like, 153 people for day 1, and that also doesn't include, you know, the 8, 16, 8, 8. I think there were like 40 people, so we have 153 right here. A lot of those people are getting kicked out. And then I think if we go to advance to day 2, only like 25 people advance to day 2. So we go over here, we go to Masters day 2, I believe. No, maybe it's the other one. I don't know. Like this is kind of broke. Okay, all right, so we have that, yeah. So we have a lot of people over here. We have 60. So we have 60 people, Masters day 2, minus the 25. So that means like 35, 36 people were given an invite. On top of the 150. So yeah, almost 200 people qualifying for Worlds because the championship point system was so broken. I was also doing some searches, guys. So 2018 championship points. Hey, Carson! He got caught with a hacked Kyogre. He got disqualified. Oh, he was a senior division world champion 2016. Qualified for Worlds. Look at all these points. Look at all these points that hackers, cheaters are getting. Just like that. Ashton Cox, he's on the radar. You know, we have all these other people that have been doing it. I mean, look at all these qualifications. Remember, it was like 400 points to qualify. Keeps going down, 86. So it just kind of shows how you can game the system. We look at the 2019 World Championship points. I mean, look at that. We already have crazy points going on. Nails OU, the guy that doxed Wolf Click. I mean, this is why no one wants to play Pokemon. Hacking everywhere, broken system, the most toxic, foul, scummy of players that do not get punished. Blows my mind. You know, they're giving Wolf Click features even though he didn't even make it out of day 1 at Worlds, and he already cheated in 2016 anyways. So I mean, they're just kind of like trying to build these players in an esport that doesn't matter when people don't care because the entire system's broken. You want to feel like a Pokemon Master? I remember that. I wanted to. Back in Generation 4, when VGC started becoming a thing, Generation 5, there were dreams, there were hopes. I wanted to make it events. I actually traveled cross country to go to a regionals. I made it happen, guys. I was excited. I was hopeful. Then, like, all the hacking 2016, everything falling apart. You know, just one of those things like, nah. Not feeling it. No one's feeling it. That's why we have such poor turnout. That's why we have such a gamed system. And it's just one of those things. Like, I also want to do some event location. All right, let's see what we got around my area for premier events. Survey says nothing. Like, those will probably update and stuff. But I mean, hey, wait, what's the season again? Hold on, what do we got? We have September through January. Well, I mean, we're already into November. Where are my premier events? All right, 50 miles. Come on. Let's do it. Nothing. 100 miles. Nothing. So also, you're screwed. Some events, like again, like some people, they're just gifted with like 5 premier events in their area for a season that they can easily make it to. Others don't have it. So it's also about tournament organizers. If the scene's dead, tournament organizers aren't coming out. Let's do any distance. Fine, we'll just get everything across the country. So... whoa, I don't even know some of these. Oh, San Jose. Yeah, so this is pretty much everywhere. Yeah, like, so this is kind of shown everywhere. But, I mean, there's a lot of events. There's a lot of events, but you just have to kind of get the RNG. So, if a regional's nearby, a mid-season showdown's nearby, a lot of premier events are nearby, and then maybe you do something online or you get an international challenge, it's that. So, yeah, there haven't been an update a lot. But, I mean, okay, so you make it to where there's more points to get in. And you don't give events to a lot of people, but then some people, they're just gifted by just going to tons of regionals and stuff. It's still a money game, not as much, but still is, which is always a problem. And it just locks out players that should be more deserving. And I think that makes it even more of a problem. So there we go, guys. This is our yearly Pokemon's Broken. Everyone needs to be fired. They just don't listen to me for some reason. But this is why, and then it gets more dead. Yep, VGC gets more dead. There's more hacking. There's more disdain towards it. And people wonder why, but then they don't listen to me. Strange. Huh.